Good morning, scholars. Today we're going to continue our way through Farr's Homeric Greek, a book for beginners, looking at the vocabulary Farr offers for Lesson 18. So, we begin with ἀγορή, an assembly, meeting place, a gathering, or even a speech. Aĩgos, a goat. Áργος, the country, a city in Greece. Gέρων, gerontos, old man. Gīras, geraos, old age. Dέkatos, dekate, dekaton, adjective meaning 10th. Tαῦρος, tauru, bull. Φεύγω, πουξομai, ἐπούγων, πεπούγα, to flee or escape. Ἡμέτερος, ἡμέτερε, ἡμέτερον, ours. Θνήσκω, δανεόμαι, έτανον, τεθνίκα, die, perish. Ἱερεύς, ἱερέως, priest, holy man. Kοῖλος, κοῖλε, κοῖλον, hollow. Mηρίον, μηριού, thigh piece, thigh bone. Pούς, pοδός, foot. Fryn, frenός, mind, diaphragm, soul, disposition. ὠκεῖα, swift or speedy. So let's look at these one by one. So ἀγορή is, of course, first declension. We see our endings a, ace, a, ein, I, on, ice, as. And then ἀγορή is from the verb ἀγέρο, which means to gather. So it's a place where people gather or assemble. And it's especially the popular assembly that would include the entire army, which is what we'll see in Book 1, versus the boule, an assembly of princes or leaders of the army, which we'll see in Book 2. And so you see down a bit, λύειν ἀγορήν is to dismiss the assembly, to dissolve the assembly. Okay, then we have the word for bull, ταῦρος, tauru, tauros, tauru, and our second declension, masculine endings, os, ou, oi, on, ois, us, so tauros, tauru, etc. Then neuter second declension, mηρίον, and as always, in neuter nouns, the nominative and accusative are identical. So mηρίον, μηριού, μηριoi, μηρίον, μηριά, μηριον, μηρiois, μηριά. Kοῖλος, κοῖλε, κοῖλον is hollow or excavated. It's most often used as an epithet for ships, the ships of the Achaeans. So, you will see in Iliad 7 that having buried the bodies of their dead companions, the well-grieved Achaeans, eban kοῖlos epineas, eban kοῖlos epineas, they went to their ships, went to their hollow ships. So eban is an aorist third plural of bino. Eban kοῖlos epineas. They went back to their hollow ships. Dέkatos, on, is 10th. So here we have te dekate dagorende kalesato laon Achilleus. So here we have Achilles, Achilleus, nominative, laon, accusative, kalesato, so Achilles is calling. He called the army, ἀγορένde, to assembly, te decade, on the 10th day. And this line is coming up very soon in verse 54 of book 1. So here, te decade, the dative singular, we have a dative of time. And Smythe informs us that a dative without a preposition is commonly used to denote a definite point of time, chiefly with the idea of day, night, month, year, at which an action occurred. The dative contrasts one point of time with another and is usually accompanied by an attribute. Here, the attribute is just the te, on this 10th day. Ἀγορένde, καλέσατο λαόν ἀκυλέους. So next we have an entirely new set of endings of adjectives, and ὠκούς, ὠκεῖα, ὠκού, and in Smythe at 297 he gives the word for sweet, heidus, heideia, heidu, and if you notice here, many of these forms are as you would expect if you're familiar with your endings. Let's start with the masculine and look at the nominative and accusative. You see heidus, so the heidun with the neuter of the accusative should not surprise you, and in the neuter as well, with the nominative and accusative having what seems like no ending, just heidu, that might not surprise you either. And so the genitive and datives are going to be identical for the neuter and the masculine. And here we see what's characteristic of this adjectival type ending is this insertion of the epsilon. So heideos, heide, where the epsilon and the iota come together for the dative. Heidee, you see in parentheses that sometimes they are separated. And so those will be identical in the masculine and the neuter. In the plural, we see the as, I, an, a that we saw with certain first declension nouns when we covered those. These first declension nouns that end in short alpha in the nominative. So look back at that if you don't recall. Most often, this word ὠκούς, ὠκεῖα, ὠκού occurs in this expression, this formulaic expression, swift-footed Achilles, ποδός ὠκούς ἀγελέους, which we found at the end of lines. Ποδός ὠκούς ἀγελέους. Next, we have the word for goat, eix, aigos, and we see that the gamma of the stem, when it unites or collides with the sigma to form the nominative, you get eix. So eix, aigos, aiga, aiges, aigon, aixen, aigas. So the dative plural is a little strange, as always with these third declensions. Next, we have just the word Ӓργος, referring to the city where Agamemnon's from. It's synonymous with Mycenae. The same name is used for both. So you see on this map where Mycenae is, and then Sparta, where Menelaus is from, and Pylos, where Nestor is from. And you see Troy all the way over in the east. And then this bigger map, again, Troy all the way over in the east across the Aegean Sea. But then you have Ӓργος in the place where on the previous map Mycenae was, and Sparta, and Olympia, which is very near Pylos. Then you also have Thebes, and look on the upper right, you see Mount Olympus, where the Greeks imagined the gods to reside. Okay. Now here's a picture of myself a couple of summers ago. I had the luck to actually go to Mycenae and to view the ruins of Agamemnon's citadel, and very exciting, very wonderful thing to see if you ever get a chance. Okay, then we have the word gēron, gerontos, for old man, like gerontology. So gēron, gerontos, geronte, geronta, etc. What's of special note is, again, the dative plural, where we have the nu tau of the stem. When it collides with the sigma, strange things happen, as described in section 100 of Smythe. When nt occurs before sigma, you get nu sigma sigma, then finally nu sigma, then finally the nu is dropped, and you just end up with a sigma, and the preceding vowel, in this case omicron, is lengthened to omicron upsilon. So you get geruse. And we're going to see this quite often in the dative plurals of participles. We also see it in actually the third person plural of the present of luo and other third person plurals of verbs. It's a very important rule, this what happens to nt, nu tau before the sigma. It's very useful to understanding some of these many forms. Okay, next, the word for old age itself, gīras, it's neuter, and third declension. So we saw that these neuters, because the stem is gīras with a sigma, the neuters show the pure stem from which final tau or other consonants not standing at the end of a word are dropped. So here we just see that gīras is the nominative singular, and since it's neuter, it's also the accusative singular. So gīras, gīraos, which can contract to an omicron sigma form, gīrae, gīras, and then gērā, gērôn, gērase, gēras, gērā. I apologize for the accent over the plural nominative and accusative forms. That circumflex cannot exist because the alpha is long at the end, and the circumflex can only occur on the second from the last syllable if the final syllable is short. So that actually should be an acute. Gērā, gērā. Then we have the possessive pronoun for the first person plural, ἡμέτερος, ἡμέτερος, are. And so if we look at the personal pronoun, the forms of the personal pronoun, ἡμές, ἡμών, ἡμήν, ἡμάς, ἡμές nominative, ἡμών genitive, ἡμήν dative, ἡμάς accusative, we can see how ήμέτερος, ήμέτερε, ήμέτερον is our possessive adjective form. So we'll see over lines 29-30 of the first book, geiras epesen, old age will come upon her, ήμέτεροι eni oikoi, in our house. This is Agamemnon speaking harshly to the priest who's trying to get his daughter back. Old age will come upon her, ήμέτεροι en oikoi, in our house, in Áργος. So that's our possessive pronoun for the first person plural, ήμέτερος. Then we have the word for priest, ἱερεύς, rough breathing. And here in the forms after the nominative, you have the prevalence of the eta, the long form of the epsilon eta. So hierus, hiereos, hiereia, hiereia, etc. And this word is declined like basileus, achilleus. And then we have the word for foot, pούς, pοδός, pούς, pοδός. So pούς, pοδός, pode, poda, podes, podon, podese, and also posse. Note the very dative plural forms. You also have that sigma doubled up sometimes and have posse. And then the accusative plural, podos. And the accusative plural is what we see in this expression, podos ὠκούς achilleus, swift-footed Achilles. Achilleus, of course, is nominative singular masculine. ὠκούς is masculine, so swift Achilles, and podos is what's called an accusative of respect. Achilles swift with respect to his feet. So podos ὠκούς achilleus is a standing phrase that we'll find at the end of many verses. Then we have the word for fryn, frenós, which refers to the midriff or diaphragm of the body, which separate the hearts and lungs from the remaining entrails. It's often plural, but it can appear in the singular as well. But it also, the Greeks regarded this as a seat where spiritual life was collected. So it could also refer to as soul, spirit, the way we use heart, or even of the faculty of the mind. So fryn, frenós, freny, frena, frenés, frenon, frese, frenas. And again, the singular and plural can be used alternatively. Okay, now we have a couple verbs to end. Thnīskω, which means to die, and it's of a natural or a violent death. So, thnīskω dane omai, et danon tethneka. If you notice, dane omai is a future, and it takes a middle form because it's these verbs that have to do with bodily action, where their futures will take a middle. And I think that's section 806 in Smythe. But, okay, so to die, thnīskω. And then same thing with peugo. You see peugo, peuxomai, peuxa, peuga. Again, fleeing is a thing that the body does. So it has that future with the middle form. And so transitively, it can be just to escape, to run away from someone, hupotenos, peugein. But more often, it's transitive with the accusative, where you flee or shun or avoid something or someone, tena. So you can avoid thanaton, polemon, or kakon. You can avoid death, you can avoid war, or you can avoid something bad. So peugo, peuxomai, peuxa, peuga. Okay, so that's the vocabulary that FAR gives us for lesson 18. And I thank you for listening. I wish you a good day, and I encourage you to keep working hard. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.